Hi, everybody. It's episode 602 of PodQuest.
Yay!
It is Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. I am Chris. With me is Druten.
Hello.
And Walnut.
Hi, I'm here.
You are. You're both here.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm right here.
You made it through another week.
Now I'm here.
Did you move?
I mean, aren't we always?
No.
Yes.
I'm not moving
Depends
right now.
on your definition.
Literally, the Earth is rotating however fast all the time. And it's circling the sun however fast all the time. So anytime you say I'm here, you are only there for an instant because you are always moving in space.
No, that's the Earth that's moving. I'm stationary.
No, because you're not in that same spot.
Movement is relative.
You are moving in space. So right now, as I say I'm here, I am actually no longer where I was when I said I'm here. When I say I'm here immediately after it, I'm not here anymore because the Earth moves and rotates so fast.
You have no proof.
And maybe next, well, no, maybe in 4 years I'll be back here again.
No, if we're going by that logic, you have never been in the same place twice.
Yeah, because the galaxy is even,
but also the
solar
spinning
system's even moving.
The spinning of the Earth and the rotation around the sun are not exact.
Well, no, it's that plus the universe is ever expanding. We are
the whole universe is moving.
Everything is moving. Everything is moving. Yeah. We're not just circling the sun. We are circling the sun, but the sun is moving, and we are moving with the sun, and so everything is moving. You are, and never will be in the same spot you were ever at ever again.
See, that's why space is stupid.
That's why space is amazing.
Man, it's fucking boring.
Man, you're boring.
Decline. What's on the agenda?
So we are all gonna talk about the dumbest movie in the world, Johnny Mnemonic. And then, Cobb, you caught up on The Fall of X and other comics. We played
The Fall of X.
What's that?
I said pretty much just The Fall of X.
It said some comics like The Fall of X. So it's then me and Cobb played a game that we got from Phase Shift Games called Aetherspire, and then I finished Tomb Raider 1996, and played a little bit of this game called Roadside Research. So we're going to talk about that.
Nice. So apparently you didn't like Johnny Mnemonic.
Just because I said it was dumb doesn't mean I didn't like it.
I don't know. The way you said dumb just sounded very aggressive, like you had a bad time.
This is the poor man's Matrix.
Yeah.
The acting was garbage.
Oh yeah. 1995.
It was so bad. Even for 1995 it was bad. It was just overall it was just it was dumb, but in the weirdest it wasn't bad. It was incredibly
90s. It was such a 90s this is what the future is movie.
Yeah.
In some of the worst possible ways that are also the funniest possible ways.
I just love the idea that if you can all you need is a program to upgrade your memory space.
But not only that. So I actually Googled this. In theory, if the human brain could process digital data, it could hold potentially petabytes of data.
I meant to Google that during the movie because I was like, I feel like I've heard the amount a brain could hold is gigantic.
Yeah. So petabytes of data. And there's enough brain capacity that, and the way that the brain works, deleting one memory to replace it with another isn't actually how that would work either. Deleting your childhood memories would not give you 60 gigs of or 80 gigs of data storage. So that whole thing was just so silly, and obviously to them 80 gigs was a ton of storage. Right. And frankly in 1995 80 gigs was actually a staggering amount of storage. I think it was around that point in time where Bill Gates I think said in some sort of PC World interview that he didn't envision a time where 4 gigs of storage wouldn't be sufficient.
So I didn't take from the movie that he lost his memories to be able to store the memories. I took from the movie that he lost his memories because of where the implant goes in. That's where his memories were stored.
No. It's legitimately he gave up those memories as storage space, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. that's why like he gets them back at the end, even though the implant wasn't removed.
Yeah.
But I also like, so a lot of this I was watching it. I had seen this movie once, probably like 25 years ago. Like high school is when I saw it. And so like watching it again now and like kind of like noticing things that are, because this was 2021 is when this movie happened. So like looking at some of the stuff in this, like so for one, when he gets the data upload, the thing that they upload the data from, it was a mini disc, like a game, basically a fucking GameCube disc, with 360 gig capacity minimum on it, because that's how much data they uploaded. And I just think it's funny that we never actually hit that with optical storage. Like flash storage, absolutely. Like you can get little micro SD cards over a terabyte now, but optical storage, I want to say dual layer Blu-rays are still only 160. I don't think they're any bigger than that.
That sounds right.
I have a feeling that the writers did not know how much 360 gigs of memory actually was.
Well, I mean, that's at that time, 360 gigs of memory really was like a seemingly insane amount.
Yeah, and like,
oh, in the future, 360 so much. Meanwhile, now 4 years ago, 360 gig, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And like 360, you look at that and you're like, okay, that is the latest Call of Duty and one other game. Is 360 gigs worth of data. Back then, like, I'm not just using games as like a starting ground. Like games ran off of fucking floppy disks,
right, which
were megabytes. Like I think Doom ran off of like five 3.25 or 3.5 inch drives or discs.
Yeah.
So like Doom, the original Doom is, let's be generous and say 500 megabytes is what that game was originally.
Look, so like this movie was 90.
Overestimating it by 50 times.
No, I knew it was going to be incredible, like way over. That's why I said let's be generous.
Oh, this movie, you're like, it's 2.3.
Really? I thought it was at least in like the tens, like somewhere between like 20 and 60 megabytes.
Nope. And Doom 2 is 14, which came out in 1995.
Nice. Yeah. So like they really like did like size of documents and stuff like that is like, it's staggering. Like I have just simple fucking Word documents that are bigger than Doom. Yeah, like all that stuff is just wild. But like for 2020, like they have like some technology that does seem actually like legitimately advanced that we never got. Like that one dude's like heated finger whip thing. Like, why isn't somebody out there making that shit? That thing was cool.
Yeah.
I think that thing was pretty rad, but also at the same time, that thing is both very lethal and also very stupid. It's like,
it is pretty impractical.
It is like, I don't know.
It was
that is
really
like,
good with it though.
That's an assassin's weapon. That's 100% an assassin's weapon. Like, and that's probably why like it's not real, is because it probably is real, and only real assassins use it, and we just haven't seen it. I
don't know if you guys caught it, but it looks like they used the Concorde to get him from China to Newark. I'm pretty sure that was a Concorde jet, which I don't think actually in 95 operated in those directions. I think the Concorde was strictly like New York to London or something like that.
That sounds right.
Maybe France was in there.
I don't know. I don't know anything about planes like that.
So the Concorde was like the sub light speed or sub supersonic airliner, or it might have actually gone supersonic. Like it could get from London to New York in like a couple of hours. And then I don't think there was ever like a major like explosion or anything of it. I know there was at least one or two accidents for sure, but I think it mostly got shut down because the cost just wasn't like it was too expensive to fly, and no one could actually afford the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's funny that like in 1995 they assumed in 2021 that would just be the plane of choice. What else was in this movie that just kind of like...
So, was that Newark, New Jersey?
Yes.
Of all the places, they had to pick Newark, New Jersey. And then my favorite part is at the end when they're transmitting the data. He's like, everyone all around the world, this is our last transmission, blah, blah, blah. And all around the world is just everyone in Newark. They just show us every place we've already been to in Newark.
Well, yeah, they're not going to spin up new fucking sets for that. But actually, didn't they show the hotel from the beginning of the movie?
They might have. I might not have been paying full attention at that point, just because it's like, all right, this is the end of the movie. They're gonna save the world. Great, okay. But it was just like, yeah, everyone around the world. It's like, all right, that's in Newark. That's in Newark. All right, maybe that's Hong Kong or Beijing. And Beijing to Newark. Like, yeah, I guess that would take more than 24 hours or close to 24 hours to get to, right?
Not 24. So Philly to Tokyo is like 15 to 18, depending on your layover.
And that's just straight flying. That's not including time zone difference. Because time zone difference from Philly to Tokyo would be more because you're going ahead of day. It's like
24 to 25 hour. Or
yeah.
No, I'm sorry, it's not that. No, yeah, it is that much. No, it's not.
But yes,
it's like tomorrow morning over there. It's like 6:30, 7:30 in the morning in Tokyo right now. But yeah, it's like it's close to a full day of flying, but like not quite. So like he took the Concorde because that is going to, in theory, that could have gotten him to Newark in a couple of hours, and that's really all the time he had.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, no, they said he had upwards of like 36 hours or something like that for overloading.
Yeah, but like, so like doing like a 24-hour flight would have taken too long, and
yeah. Well, I mean, he only had one night in New Jersey, so.
Well, no, he slept for a little while. We actually don't know how long he slept for.
It was still nighttime, so I would say no more than an hour or two, to be honest. It was night. The whole movie took place in a night.
Could have been 24 hours. We don't know.
I doubt that. But I mean, because if she was sick and sick with whatever this virus was that makes you shake, and she let him sleep for 24 hours, she would have had an issue within that 24 hours.
That is true. But then how about the hacking scene where he gets like the fucking power gloves and the VR headset?
That is my favorite part of any 80s and 90s movie that takes place. Yeah. And it doesn't even need to take place in the future. Just any 80 or 90s movies that has hacking in it. The hacking is the most hilarious bullshit. Like freaking Jurassic Park.
It's a Unix-based system, and it was a graphical interface.
Yeah,
that didn't exist.
That's not hacking. That's just their UI. You're just going through their UI. That is not hacking.
But it's also that one always got like when I was old enough to like understand it. The funniest part about the Jurassic Park one is like a Unix-based system in 1993 would not have any sort of GUI. It would be strictly command line.
Yeah.
So the fact that that entire operating system was like those weird like boxes that like no operating system has ever used before is just so dumb. It's somebody that doesn't know what a computer is going like, this is what computers are like.
Exactly, and that's how all of these movies are. Because like in the 90s, they weren't taking movies seriously. They weren't like actually looking into like how things are. They were just like, let's make this the flashiest, catchiest thing.
Are you trying to tell me that Face Off isn't serious?
Look, Face Off is probably, out of every movie we've watched, probably the most legitimate movie you could probably watch.
That man can eat a peach for days.
Like, you could, I'm sure, with enough drugs, cut somebody's face off and put it on somebody else's, and they survive.
And like that also stretch them so that their heights match, and add or remove fat and muscle mass so that their builds are the same. It's really simple science.
Well, I think there's actual surgeries that will help people grow taller, aren't there?
I
don't think that's how that works.
Well, I mean, I do think they can like lengthen.
Limb lengthening surgery or stature lengthening increases height by up to 6 inches.
Jesus Christ, really?
Mm-hmm. They literally break your bones. And like, yeah.
That's fucking horrendous.
By surgically breaking the femur or tibia bones and using internal rods to slowly separate them, stimulating new bone growth. The intense 6 to 12 month process involves significant rehabilitation. So yes, it would have taken him a year to recover, and that's the unrealistic part. Is he recovered within a month or something like that? But like, there is pseudoscience behind what could have happened in Face Off, whereas these sci-fi movies like this, these what is it?
Like near future.
No, what is the term for
Dystopian?
Dystopian, that's it. Yeah. This for dystopian sci-fi movies like this that probably honestly had a really low budget. They're just gonna make shit up and not even care because it's just like, we got to make it flashy. And like, yeah, that hacking was fan-fucking-tastic. I wish that's what VR was. I mean, maybe VR is that now. You know,
this movie
that's
had a $26 million budget. In 1995 money, that was quite a lot of money.
That's a huge budget.
And it made $52 million.
How did it have $26 million budget and it was like that, man? You could have gotten some better actors at least.
Hey, man, Dolph Lundgren was in this movie.
I'm not talking about the main cast. I'm talking about everybody else.
That's fair.
Spider. That was Henry Rollins.
Yeah, that was Henry Rollins.
I thought
Henry Rollins was basically just being Henry Rollins, though.
Henry Rollins was terrible.
I mean, in 1995, he was not an actor. He was a hardcore punk frontman, and like, I think he had started doing some of the spoken word by that point.
Probably.
Even like, I will say, like, I would not call him like the best actor, but so it looks like Johnny Mnemonic may have been the fourth thing he ever did, acting wise. But like, you know, he wasn't bad in. Actually, Bad Boys 2, I forgot he was in that. Like, I remember him being unoffensive in that. He was one of like the special forces guys that like work with them at the end. He was in Sons of Anarchy for like a season as like a white supremacist, and like he was good in that.
Again, those are after this though.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like he got better.
Yeah,
but like at this point he was not an actor.
Yeah, Spider was horrible. A lot of the side cast was terrible. Dolph Lundgren wasn't in it enough to be able to complain about his acting. And then Keanu Reeves was 90s Keanu Reeves. Like, you can't but can complain about it because when you're looking for Keanu Reeves, that's what you're looking for when it comes to 90s movies with him in it. But yeah, it was just like, for a $26 million budget, you think they would have had better acting. But also at that time, there was a lot of graphics work done.
Oh yeah, like there was a lot of CG in this movie. And like, for what it's worth, like, you figure Keanu was actually like a fairly big name at that point. So I want to say that would be the same year as Speed.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Where is, like, he'd already done the Bill and Ted movies, and Dracula. Yeah, so he did both Bill and Ted, Dracula, Point Break, Johnny Mnemonic. Speed was 94. So like, that was kind of like he was a pretty big name at that point already. Holy shit, John Wick was 2014.
Yep.
Wow.
John Wick's been going on for 10 years. Over 10 years.
Damn.
Kind of wild. But
yeah.
What, there's 4 of them now? 3? How many are there?
4 John Wicks plus the ballerina spinoff.
Yeah, I was going to say technically 5 because he is in the ballerina.
I haven't seen the ballerina, but isn't it just like a little cameo?
He's still in it. But yes, it's a quick spot. I mean, he is a credited. So it's not like it is a credited cameo, and he is listed as actors on like the posters for the movie. So he might not be in it a lot, but he is in it enough to have a decent credit for it.
That's fair.
But I haven't seen Ballerina. I also haven't seen what is 4? Parabellum is 4 or.
I think 3 was Parabellum.
Yeah, and then whatever 4 was. Just Chapter 4. I haven't seen Chapter 4 yet. Because I believe Parabellum is when he falls off the Continental at the end.
I think you're right. It's been a while since I saw any of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, Johnny Mnemonic, I had fun with it. It was dumb, but like, I enjoy that kind of dumb. And like, seeing all this stupid shit that like, knowing that this movie is technically from happening 5 years ago. And it just not making any sense is great. Though, hey, TV, much like Back to the Future, the TV was also the telephone, but also there were still payphones.
Oh yeah, there was a payphone. That was great.
Yeah, because he grabbed that like hot phone hijacker thing to plug in to make
There's
like a.
there's so much technology in this movie that's not around today that was around when this movie was made that it does make that's the better part of watching these movies for me is like remembering some of this stuff. That's like, oh yeah, that like a phone booth. There's no phone booths today, or if they're very few and far between.
Yeah,
Um,
it is usually fun seeing stuff that like, hey, I guess they could not think of a world where this specific thing didn't still exist. Even like the
mhm.
TVs, like it wasn't that far from that point where TVs really stopped being tube TVs and became like your plasmas and stuff like that. But like all the TVs in that were still like fairly small tube TVs.
Mhm.
And even like the flat screen stuff that you see a couple times are like very small screens with a whole lot of box around them. Yeah, I had fun with it. Anything else either of you guys want to say?
No, no, I think we've pretty
Yeah.
much covered it.
Cool. Anyone got another pick?
I had a pick, then double check the year that it was set in, and it's still in. So it does.
Oh, what was it?
Demolition Man.
How far in? So that was one that kept popping up for me too. How far in the future is that?
2032. So we're close, but still in the future.
I feel like we're close enough that we could probably go with that one because
Who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 years?
I mean that's fair, but
It
also
could become Demolition.
I can't imagine technology changing that much in 6 years. We're not that no one's going to figure out how to use the shells in 6 years.
But
Is that actually even on anything?
it's on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Rich,
What was
did
it
you have
again?
anything?
But
Demolition Man?
Oh, Demolition Man. Oof. Well,
That's a great
2001 Space Odyssey.
is that anywhere?
That's on HBO.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really have anything at the moment, besides that, but I just pulled up a wiki of movies set in the future, but it's movies just generally that are set in the future, not like that are currently past. Like you have to check the dates on them stuff. Though.
Yeah.
So,
The other one I wanted to pick isn't streaming anywhere.
Oh,
But I
what was the other one?
find Doom.
Like the 2005 like rock movie?
Yeah.
When does that take place?
Let me see. I want to say it was like 2015. Oh no, why did I? Maybe I misread set. I swore when I read earlier 2016.
No,
This is
apparently that movie takes
2046.
place in
Oh no, in
2026.
2026. Okay, the Wikipedia list that Walnut was looking at said 2046, but yeah, no. That's all right. When I looked at the wiki article, it said 2026. I was like, oh shit, this year is Doom.
Oh, that's a
Unless
shame
it's
that
changed
Doom's not
since I
on
looked.
anything.
5 streaming. Let me see if it's changed the last I looked.
No, it looks like it's a $4 rental on like everything.
Yeah, no, it's not.
That's not a $4 rental movie.
No,
so
because I'm
Apparently-
certain that movie is going to be fucking terrible.
I've seen it. It is.
Oh, I'm sure.
it's bad, but it's bad in a
It's
good
video
way.
game
But it's
movie from that era. It has to be bad.
Is it a U-Bowl movie?
No.
No. Andrzej
Andrzej
balls gonna get back.
Bartkowick? No.
apparently the Butterfly Effect, the Ashton Kutcher movie,
Oh shit.
that took place in 2010 and it came out in 2004. That is technically within this parameter. I don't know if it's available anywhere. Oh, the Cloverfield Paradox we're 2 years away from that. Damn, I didn't realize Cloverfield Paradox was only 2028.
Is that the one with the underground bunker?
No, that's
Cloverfield
Lane.
Butterfly Effect is not on anything. It's another $4 rental.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Escape from New York.
So that I was actually gonna mention.
Yeah.
Escape from New York and Escape from LA are both set in 1997. I want to say, or Escape from New York is, and it's from the 80s.
Oh, I got one.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have to do this, but Godzilla Destroy All Monsters takes place in 1999 and it came out in 1968.
Sure.
I don't know if it's still on HBO yet, though.
It does not appear to be. Oh no, yeah, it is. Sorry, the first thing that came up was not Godzilla, or was not HBO. It was Amazon.
Is this the one that I think it was? Yeah, this is one where it's just got them all. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so bad.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I also fucking think these movies are trash. So it's going to look bad to me. But like, I will watch it.
That's an option. It's in the parameters.
Like, if it gets picked, I'll watch it. I just don't want to.
Oh shit, Edge of Tomorrow is only it's 2020 is when that happens.
Live, Die, Repeat, the Tom Cruise movie?
Yes. It was called Edge of Tomorrow.
Wasn't it originally Live, Die, Repeat, or is it the other way around?
No, Live, Die, Repeat was
around.
Live, Die, Repeat was just its slogan or whatever. Like,
Is some release of it where that is like the title that's printed on it?
Because the manga it was based off of was All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah. But it was they did eventually, like, it was released in theaters as Edge of Tomorrow. And then eventually, like, because everyone basically kept calling it Live, Die, Repeat, because that's what you would see on all of the artwork for it, all of the promotional material. People didn't realize it was actually called Edge of Tomorrow, and so a lot of people were calling it Live, Die, Repeat. So eventually, for some reason or somehow, got like its name sort of changed, but not fully.
I think at one point they did actually rebrand it for real too, like on like one of the DVD releases or something.
Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like. And or at the very least, retailers were listing it as Live, Die, Repeat, the Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, according to Gemini, Edge of Tomorrow 2014 was originally titled All You Need Is Kill, based on the manga. Warner Brothers changed the title because they found the word kill putting off to audiences. Later, for home video, it was rebranded to highlight its tagline, Live, Die, Repeat.
Okay.
Yeah, so the tagline was always Live, Die, Repeat. It was theatrically released as Edge of Tomorrow. But, like I said, like they did a really bad job of actually promoting the movie that everyone thought it was called Live, Die, Repeat.
It's also not streaming on anything, like any of the platforms, without a rental fee.
Yeah. I was just going through this list and didn't realize that was only that soon. Yeah, I mean, are the Escape From movies available? L.A., New York?
Escape from New York's on Roku channel.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah, I think there's ads.
Free.
It looks like it's also on Prime Video.
Okay. Let's do Escape from New York.
Yeah, let's do Escape from New York. That's fine. And I'll go through and see if I can find something other than Godzilla.
I mean, look, man, if you want to pick Godzilla, I'm not going to say no to it.
I want to pick Godzilla, but I also don't want to pick Godzilla just because there's so many movies within this parameter that like fit more for what we're trying to go for.
Yeah,
like that movie doesn't have a lot of futuristic technology and stuff. It just generally takes place in 1999, and the closest thing to futuristic technology is stuff from Aliens. So that's it. Like there's no human advanced technology besides fight stuff that would be used to fight kaiju. So like that doesn't really fit in the goals and the spec of what we're looking for. The G.I. Joe movies.
Are those in the near future?
G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, released in 2009, takes place in 2020, and G.I. Joe Retaliation takes place in 2024. Oh, I wonder if they're available anywhere.
It's interesting because like I feel like those aren't like you don't realize that in those movies either.
No.
Like they never really tell you that they're in the near future. I remember like while it's not like a groundbreaking movie or anything, like the first one, like not terrible.
They both were solid. They were solid movies. Like they're not shit, but they're not amazing.
It looks like the first one is on Paramount, so I assume the second one is too.
Maybe. I didn't see it. I didn't see either of them on just searching it with Google. So
I'm looking at Just Watch, and it shows Paramount.
But I mean, that's we'll do the Escape from. Yeah, Escape From, and then I'll look for something.
Cool. Okay, cool. So moving along, then in 2 weeks we will be watching Escape from New York, the 1981 Kurt Russell Snake Plissken movie.
Is part of the reason I want to watch it because fucking Hideo Kojima? Yes.
Yeah. I know I have seen at least parts of it. I don't know that I've ever seen the whole thing.
And G.I. Joe is not on Paramount anymore, so that's dumb. It's wrong. Your site is wrong. It's got the origin Snake Eyes, which is his origin movie, but that probably doesn't take place in the future of when it was released.
No, probably not. Especially because it's an origin movie, right?
Yeah. So it would have to take place pre-2020, where Snake Eyes is in G.I. Joe.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess moving along, Richie said it in the thing. I started catching up on comics. So I basically didn't read anything in 2025. Like I just didn't feel like reading comics.
Bullshit. You read way too much in 2025. You just didn't read comics.
Well, that's what I just said. I didn't feel like reading comics.
You read so much.
I read like 100 books. It's not a big deal. But I was still like getting comics. I just wasn't reading them. I think the only thing I really read last year was the Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, because like we did that for book club back in like January, February of last year. So like I was very behind on so many books. I have over 1,000 books that I haven't read. I don't have them all physically, but like in general, I was like 1,000 books behind. I kind of went through and like pruned a bunch of stuff from that list that like I'm just not going to bother with. But I decided like I'd kind of like read some of like the Spider-Man stuff that I left off on and things like that for a little while. But I decided to go catch up on like the X-Men stuff, because back in 2019, I want to say, I think it was before COVID. X-Men did the whole House of X, Powers of X stuff where they kind of like redid timelines and did the whole Krakoa Island thing where like the mutants created like their own nation. And it was, 5-ish years of that kind of being the status quo. Like they took away the whole idea that like heroes and villains dying and coming back was like a big deal, and they just made it part of their culture. Like they had 5 mutants that when they basically Captain Planeted everything. It was 5 mutants that when their powers combined, they could bring people back from the dead. As long as they were a mutant that had a backup done by Professor X, or one of the other telepaths. But I had dropped off around the time that they had started the Fall of X, which was one of the like anti-mutant groups basically finally like attacking them and seemingly winning. They killed a bunch of mutants. They sent a bunch of them through a portal that no one knows where that portal went, and the mutants that were left kind of on the run. And I didn't know it at the time, but this was actually the Fall of X stuff was tied in directly to Iron Man at the time. The X-Men books weren't really publicizing it up front. So as I was catching up on that, I started also going over to the Iron Man books, because it turns out that in the previous run of Iron Man, he had sold off his company to basically buy back all of the weapons that had been stolen from him over the year. So he basically used like the money of his from selling his company to like take all of the Stark weaponry off the field. But that meant that a bad guy bought his company and got all the Iron Man technology and turned that into Sentinels. So it's Sentinels that Magneto couldn't kill and were impervious to all the normal shit. So that's what they used to like basically destroy the X-Men and all the other mutants. And so the Fall of X was kind of them all on the run and trying to find a way to free the mutants that had been captured, find the ones that were missing if they were still alive, and if not, avenge them. And there was a whole bunch of stuff going on between, like I said, like the X-Men books, Iron Man. This was also around the time that they made Miss Marvel a mutant. So right around like the time of the show, they had killed her off in the comics and then brought her back a few months later as a mutant right before like this whole thing happened. Like her being brought back happened the same issue that basically the X-Men were destroyed. And Rich, one thing that actually might interest you, so you knew in the comics and the show that like her powers were different, right?
Yeah.
So in the comics, she has basically Mr. Fantastic's powers. Like she can stretch and grow and all that sort of, and shrink too. So her powers are a little bit more robust than Mr. Fantastic. In the show, she had those like hard light projections. So in the comics, what they did was she does not have these powers, but they tell us that her mutant gene is actually those hard light projections. So they kind of tied the MCU together with the the comic universe. So in the comics, she still does like the stretchy stuff. But there was like there were 2 miniseries focusing on her, and one of them focused on basically one of the bad guy scientists using like a clone of her to activate her X gene instead of her Inhuman gene.
Yeah.
And her X gene had the hard light powers, and it was basically the scientist trying to convince her to let her experiment on the real Miss Marvel to unlock both of them, so that she would have all of the power.
Mm-hmm.
But they left that alone, and she decided to just keep the powers she had rather than force anything else. But I thought it was cool that they did, they acknowledged like the MCU powers so that people can stop, bitching about that. Not that they will, but also that those 2 miniseries were written by the actress that played her on the show.
Yeah. It's nice that they're letting her canonize her abilities in the comics so that like people will stop complaining that she doesn't have the same abilities. She's just an awesome person in general. I've watched a lot of stuff, or I've been trying to keep up with what she does because I think she's just an incredible actress, and I think she's just awesome in general. So like, yeah, that's cool that like they let her do that.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, those books were from like 2024. Because they were like the back half of 2024. So like by the time I had kind of fallen off, I was like just getting up to them.
Yeah.
Because like the Krakoa stuff for the X-Men was actually really cool in 90% of cases. But it was also so much X-Men stuff that at times it was hard to really like figure out what was worth reading and what wasn't. Like when it comes to Spider-Man, that you just read Amazing Spider-Man. Like if you're just going to read one Spider-Man book, you can just read that one, and that gives you like the core story. With the X-Men stuff, they would like start and stop books so frequently and have them like tie together that you never really quite knew which ones were the important ones to be reading. And like in a lot of cases, the X-Men title was not the one to be reading until this Fall of X stuff happened. But they ended up taking like a handful of the mutants that were left and did some cool stuff with them. Like they let Kitty go from being, she was basically a pirate through like the Krakoa age because she couldn't use the gateways that all the other mutants could because of her ability. So instead she she captained a pirate ship and used it to go around and free mutants from countries that weren't letting them leave. And in this, after everyone kind of got murdered and sent away, she went on kind of a killing spree and became essentially Wolverine. Only Wolverine that could phase into you and just make your brain explode by a hand being inside of it.
Yes.
I think it was the first X-Men issue after it happened, or maybe the second one. So like 25, 26, where they kind of show what happened, and like everything went to hell, and then as the bad guys are like shutting down these portals that the mutants had been using, she falls out of one, having never been able to use them before. And then like all of the bad guys there try to kill her, and she realizes like at that moment that she's the only mutant that can use the gates still, and that none of those people can live. So she proceeds to just viciously murder all of them. Mm-hmm. And like that's not a thing that you see that character do all that often.
Yeah.
And then it shows her going back to Xavier's school that's just like a ruin now, like overgrown, like no one's been there in years, to fetch 2 swords that were like hidden under her room in the house. And then she literally just goes full ninja and is just on her own murdering people. Mm-hmm. Almost like Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame. Only she's specifically murdering like the bad guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was murdering bad people.
Well, yes, I mean, he was murdering like bad people, but I mean, like, she was really only targeting like the people that were eradicating the mutants,
the super villains and stuff. Yeah,
and like all the henchmen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the whole arc has just been it's a wild thing to catch up on. I have one issue left of the 2 like main books for it, which were the Fall of the House of X and Rise of the Powers of X. Mm-hmm. And like I frankly I don't really like the Powers of X book. I didn't care for them in the initial like the creation of this either, because they're kind of like these high concept books that jump around timelines and alternate realities and stuff, and they're hard to follow, and they don't really tell a very interesting or cohesive story against everything else that's happening. Whereas the fall of the House of X is actually like what is happening at that moment in universe, and you know that there are other, like, the other books that are going on around this are happening at the same time. So while like there's one scene in one of the like mid books where Firestar from Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is a mutant, and she's captured, and Iron Man actually pops up on like a call to some of the X-Men, telling them like, hey, sorry, I had to take a break and let you know, like, we found her. Here's where we think she is, so that they can go get her. But you know that like that's actually happening while he's fighting one of the other villains responsible for this in Australia. Because the one villain both hated the X-Men and hated Iron Man for the exact same reason. Because it's the dumbest thing. This dude is angry because the X-Men terraformed Mars. Like, they made Mars habitable, and then sent all of these aggressive, basically like alternate reality mutants there to have like their own world, so that they didn't literally destroy the Earth. So this guy was angry about that, and then he hated Tony because like 10 years ago in the comics, Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor stopped a bad guy on Mars and had a chance to like claim it for Earth, and they didn't, because like other shit took priority. So he just hated both of them and tried to kill them all. And so like in the Iron Man books, Iron Man's off fighting that guy while the X-Men are like freeing all of their people. But there's all this like crossover. Like most of the Iron Man book for the last several issues, like through this arc, has been like Tony fake marrying Emma Frost to become like a member of the Hellfire Club, so that they can build him a new suit of armor with like a metal that the mutants discovered during this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just very, very out there, but like it ties in the right way. Like you don't need the Iron Man books for any of it to make sense, but it's cool that it's working out that way. Because sometimes Marvel historically with some of their events have been shitty, to say the least. Like the events themselves will fall super flat, because they basically will give you like this 5-issue core series that when you read it doesn't really stand on its own, and then they disrupt every other series to ham-fist it into the event, breaking whatever kind of like storylines were going on for this event that ends up being disappointing anyway. At least in this case, like they laid the seeds for this in Iron Man just as much as X-Men, so it was really like they were happening together. Like it was just one big story instead of Iron Man just being like shoved into this X-Men story. Same thing with Miss Marvel. Like her story fit into it while also being separate. Like I could have easily read the 2 Miss Marvel miniseries without having followed any of the X-Men stuff. Because like the beginning of it, they tell us what happened. Like they resurrected her. Well, Cyclops resurrected her. Nobody else seemed to give a shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been cool. I'm looking forward to reading like those, like I said, those last like 2 issues just to wrap it up. But even if it doesn't have like the perfect ending, like I think like getting there has just been fun. And I'm actually looking forward to see kind of what they do with like the X-Men outside of that, because I know they've pulled back a ton on how many X-Men books they're doing. Like I said, like at one point with the Krakoa stuff, they had like 10 to 20 X-Men books going at a time at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And like so every month there were like between 10 and 20 different fucking X-Men related books being released, that all somehow connected to one another occasionally. Now I think it's like 2 or 3. It's like X-Men, Uncanny X-Men. I think there's like one other book outside of like the couple of solo series that just always run. Like there's always going to be a Wolverine book. Like that character is always going to be popular enough that they're just going to, even if the X-Men aren't releasing anymore, there's going to be a Wolverine book still.
Yeah, of course. Wolverine, they're never going to not have a Wolverine book.
Yeah, it's like Wolverine, Spider-Man, and a couple other characters. Like those characters will always have books.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, like they might not have books, but fucking Wolverine and Spider-Man will always have a fucking book every month.
Yeah.
Actually, right now I don't think there's a Thor book right now. I have to check that, but yeah, I don't think there's a Thor book. I think the last one ended and they haven't launched a new one yet. But yeah, it's been fun. I have so many comics. I want to get to DC did this initiative called Absolute, where it's like Absolute Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I think there's even like a Green Lantern and a Martian Manhunter. And to my understanding, it's kind of like what Marvel did with the Ultimate Universe back in the day. but people are constantly saying how good it is and like recommend like it's one of those like if you're only going to read one book, go read the Absolute books. Like fuck regular Batman, like read Absolute Batman. So after I finish up the X-Men stuff, I might jump over there just to kind of see what that stuff looks like. So yeah, comics, they're fun.
Nice. Yeah.
But I don't know why like I suddenly decided to like catch up on them, but like I was like looking at stuff. I'm like, you know what? I haven't read comics in a while, and I looked at how many books I was behind on. I'm like, well, I should probably read some of these.
Look, sometimes you just need a break from the things you like to just get back into doing other stuff, and then when you go back to it, it's like, man, this is actually I forgot about how nice this is, and I like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess moving along, we played Aetherspire.
Yeah, I don't remember if we talked about this when I first played it and learned how to play it when I played it solo. But we did. It's a game from Phase Shift Games. It's a board game. It is a tower stacking cooperative a dice pool game essentially. Where you are defending the center from being attacked by the different elements that can come into play, and it's a blind draw game, so whenever it gets to the point where you're pulling and summoning the different elements, you're drawing from a bag blind, and then each element, depending on the stage of where you are when playing, has a specific parameter that it has to follow when it's being placed onto the board and stuff. I love this game. I think this is a very fun game. It's not hard to teach. It's very fun to learn. I played it twice in one day, 3 times in one weekend, all by myself on the solo runs. Because I played it once to learn how to play before bringing it to Cubs. And this was a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. I then forgot the elements at home. So instead of coming back home and picking it up, because Cobb lives a little bit too far away now for me to do that, we didn't get to play it at that game night. So then the next day I was like, I really like this game. I want to do a board solo with it. So I recorded myself doing a board solo with it. My phone memory filled up halfway through playing that. So then I had to clean out my memory and play it again to get a full gameplay of it. So I played it 3 times, twice in one day, 3 times in one weekend. And I plan on bringing it to every board game night I have, because I think it's a really fun game and a really good, interesting, like, strategy game.
So, like, I'll be honest, like, I didn't dislike it, but it was not my favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun playing it, but, like, I don't know that it's a game that I necessarily want to play again.
Wow. You're shitting on my favorite game. It's not my favorite game, but it's up there. Just gonna crap on it? Wow.
Yep, exactly. Like, I don't think it was a bad game. I think it the idea and like mechanics and stuff were actually kind of cool, like the like building things on top of each other. I don't know, like for some reason, like it just didn't fully click for me.
I will say, our play session, like, it did take a little bit longer to play because like we got food in the middle of that, and we were like, it was very, it's a game that like you can't be too disconnected from when playing. And usually at the start of game nights when we're getting food and stuff like that, it tends to like make the game longer, and you do like get a little bit more disconnected from it. And so I feel like that might be part of it, is like we weren't all there in it. I was trying my best not to like run the game too much, because I have a tendency in games like this, especially cooperative games like this, to be like, all right, you can do this, so let's do this, and this. And you couldn't see half the board because of the built towers and the way we were set up to play, so you couldn't see some of the abilities and stuff like that. I feel like I don't know. I can get what you're saying. Like, not every game has to be everybody's.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. I didn't
just
dislike it. I had fun playing it. It's just one of those, like, this was cool. I don't know that I need to play it again sort of games.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't be on my list of, like, oh, hey, man, definitely bring that. And, like, that's a good one for us to, like, do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, like, when I say I'm going to bring it to every game night, like, I'm not going to bring it back to our game night until we get through minimum the rest of the games I still have to review from PAX, as well as any other games I have unopened still or unplayed, and then we get through a bunch of yours. Then I might like, hey, I haven't played. I like maybe like 6 months from now, if I'll be like, hey, I haven't played this in a while. You guys want to play this? And I'll bring it up. Like and it would be nice to like play it a little bit more just to like try some of the harder difficulty monsters and things like that. Because that's the other thing. Like each time you play, you can have like level 1 or level 2 up to level 4 difficulty monsters, and they each have their own different abilities and strategies to figure out. And then there's also just harder difficulty play modes that they have in the book and things like that to make it a little bit different each time. My like one of my kind of complaints, but not really, is as dumb as it sounds. I wish there were more tiles, because when I first played this game 3 times in one weekend, 2 of my games had very similar tile placements and setups. And I was drawing in like there's only so many limited tiles, and I get that like you can't really have that many because of space to actually ship the box and how heavy it's going to be. But like I wish there were a couple more tiles to use and to build off of, so that like it makes it not necessarily easier, but yeah, I guess kind of easier, or just a little bit like better. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying. Like, not easier, but like a little bit more random. I think they're like when it comes to the tile placement and the floor placement, it needs a little bit more randomness to it. If they were to create an expansion with more tiles, I would probably buy it, and I would 100% play it with that expansion to it.
Yeah, that's fair. And like again, like I did think like the gameplay itself was good. And it like I know we were playing on like the basic difficulty, and it didn't feel too hard, but it definitely there was a challenge to it, especially like you being the only one that had played before. Like there's always that learning curve. So like I felt like it wasn't too easy where it's just like, oh well, this is cake. Like we're doing fine. Like we really did come up to like the end. We finished literally on the last possible turn before the game we would have lost.
Yeah.
But there's just certain things that felt a little too kind of like chaotic in a bad way. When it came to like how you can handle like the enemies and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm doing a bad job explaining that, but something about like that part of the gameplay was kind of what was pulling me out of it.
I think I'll say this. I think in part of it was you had not a great character.
Oh no, I got that one not really knowing what like the game was. And yeah, like that character had no useful abilities for what the game ended up being. You had said it was like building and stuff like that, and I saw like the rebuild walls. Didn't fully understand what that was though, and that was actually useless in our case.
It was, and then also like I'd have to reread and analyze your character sheet, because like the rebuild walls situation, like the only things that destroy, like I could have destroyed walls to do stuff, and then like maybe you could have used something to rebuild a wall, but like that doesn't.
So you have to discard 3 like room tiles in order to do it.
Let me go get the game because I want to see your character sheet. Give me like 2 minutes.
How you doing, Drew?
I'm good. I was looking at these Ninja Turtle Magic the Gathering cards that are coming out on Friday.
You gonna get into Magic the Gathering for Ninja Turtles?
I mean, I've been into Magic the Gathering for a while.
That's right, you have been playing for a while. I forgot about that.
I wish more of the art was like the 90s cartoon art.
Is it more like the modern style turtle stuff?
Yeah. I think like kind of these are all like wizard drawn, more inspired off the modern stuff. But then there are like alternate versions of a lot of the cards that are either the 90s cartoon, some of them are like the 80s comic style. There's actually one really cool card that was it called the 4 turtles, the white Turtles Forever, and it's black and white 80s comic, color 80s comic, 90s cartoon, and like a modern cartoon all on the same card. I was like, oh,
that's kind of cool.
It's a busted ass card too. Let you just pull any 4 legendary creatures as long as they have different names. Put 2 of them in your hand, 2 into your deck.
Okay. All right. I found your character sheet.
It was the green one.
You were Glenn the Slicer. Your first ability is Whittle, which is discard a die. Your other die showing the same face as a discarded die then becomes a blank. So that actually, or becomes a wild, because that actually is a little useful because you could you could essentially, if you rolled a lot of blank face dies, you could turn those into wilds. That's a good ability. Your other one, Emerald Cut, discard a grass or a wild to gain 1 earth element. So that's a pretty good one. So if you rolled a grass or a wild, you can gain an earth element to put into the mana pool to use some of the spells and abilities
Yeah.
if you needed to, which would have been super useful to use for you to use a lot more, because you could have then done that to discard a grass or a wild, gotten a grass element in there, used the grass and the water element to roll 3 more die, and that you could have always had a higher dice pool because you would have always been able to get that extra grass in there. And then your brambles. Discard 3 room tiles to rebuild all walls. All walls meaning the center.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that's a good ability if we're getting wrecked.
Yeah, and in our game we weren't, so it was useless. And also, I don't think we ever had a point where we actually had 3 tiles available because we kept building them.
We definitely. I mean, we could have, though. We didn't buy as many. So, like, you can in this game, you get a mana pool, and you get the mana the same way as getting the enemies by blind drawing them out of the blind bag. You can then spend the mana in different ways by casting magical abilities or by building rooms. And so we could have spent the mana to grab a room. We
just never needed to. We were always focused on basically crowd control. Like
yes,
all of our turns were doing the default actions and then crowd control because the enemies just kept stacking up. And I think that's part.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it. Is like the way the game amps up like the enemies and the ways that you have to eliminate the enemies. You really do have to just constantly be on crowd control every turn.
Yes, but I mean, at the same time, like at the same time, there are rooms that if we place them, it's destroy all the enemies in the fortress, which is all the enemies around. But like those are the rooms that you like try to hold back from always using because it minimizes your spaces. Our build that we were lacking a lot of space. We had a lot of each of our towers were filled. And then we had no additional towers to build off of because we had used that space for special abilities and stuff. So it did get a little bit harder to where the crowd control was very necessary. For instance, we cleared out the white element and we did not have a space for another white element. So it was either the white element or the grass element or both. We did not have an extra space, so we needed to get a multi-element somewhere placed so that we could put the things there that wouldn't be able to be placed elsewhere. And so like at times like the crowd control can get very rough, but then depending on how your build is going, you could get like the crowd control, you could manage having a couple of more enemies on the board, whereas for us like 3 enemies was killer for us based on our build. And so that comes into play a little bit of the randomness. But yeah, I feel like one issue is your character card was a little. You didn't know a lot of the rules. You didn't know what anything was while selecting your character. So, like some of the choices, you weren't entirely sure like what would have been good or bad. So I get it. It was your first time. I probably should have like looked at some of these and talked them through before we started. But we you live and learn.
Yeah, that's true. And again, I didn't think it was a bad game. Like, I did have fun playing it. Like, it's not like it was like, oh no, this sucked. I had a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like, I did think that like the building aspect of it was actually kind of cool. Like having to build vertically in a game was a neat idea.
Yeah. So like, I'm looking through some of the characters we didn't use. One character, Brooke the Illusionist, special action, discard a die, any die to place a pillar on a multi-floor. So like if we used more multi-floors, it would be any die. Like this person could always be building without needing the wilds. And another one is place a floor where there's exactly one enemy blocking it. You crystallize that enemy and you get to place a floor, which normally you don't get to place a floor. So like maybe if you might have enjoyed it a little more if you had a different character, but also you like you said, like you don't always have to like every game. I just think you're wrong for not liking this one.
I mean, you can be wrong for having your opinion too, so it's fine.
But yeah, it's good. It's solid. I've got a video coming out of my solo playthrough this week, and then the video of our group playthrough and my review and write-up for it will be going on OneQuest in a couple of weeks. Probably not next week, just because I want to separate the time between me playing it and me playing it with friends being released and stuff like that. But also, this weekend is going to be dedicated to Resident Evil, so I'm not going to have a lot of time to edit and write.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
How was Tomb Raider, I guess? Let's just keep things moving.
Yeah, so Tomb Raider 1, 96.
7.5 minutes.
Tomb Raider 96. It was Tomb Raider 96.
Now, I'm sorry, I forget. This is the remaster, right?
Yeah, it's the remaster.
Okay.
But it's basically, it's the same game. It's just graphically remastered. You can change the controls to not have the tank controls from 96. I didn't do that because A, I didn't realize it, and B, if you're going to play an old school game, you're going to use the old school controls. And it's Tomb Raider. It's all the nostalgia, it's all the memory that I have, and then some. I don't remember there being what's it called? Why am I blanking? I don't remember there being magnums in Tomb Raider. Apparently there were. I for some reason I just blanked on that. Or I just never used them when I played because like the Magnum was the gun that you saved, even though I had in this run through I had almost 1,000 Magnum ammo. I did cheese the game a bit while playing, because the camera is so tight on Lara, and it would sometimes, even with using the look button to look around, it would be hard to see. I ended up using the camera mode to try to find my paths and stuff and figure out where to go at times. Because you could hit the camera mode and you would have free movement of the camera. And I would just go around and be like, all right, well, okay, I need to go here and I need to do this to go there, to get up there, to find the next. Okay, now I get it. Now I know where I need to go. Let's go do it. So if I were stuck and lost in a spot, I would just open up camera mode and look around everywhere I'm at until I find where I had to go. So it was a little bit of a cheese. But like honestly, it helped make the game a little bit better. Because otherwise, there were rooms that I got stuck in for so long. There was a level, the third to last level, actual like counted playtime, not including like my deaths and runbacks, was over an hour of playtime.
Wow.
Yeah, which this game is generally about 15 hours, and there's 12 levels. So that's. Well, no, it's less than 15. It would have to be less than 15 hours. Because usually 15 hours... Well, How Long to Beat generally says about, I think, 12 to 15. Or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, so one of the levels took... Some of these levels were very long. And it was kind of exhausting to get through some of these really long levels. And then others were just very short. And it was nice. And there's some stuff I don't remember. And then like, the story just goes off the wall. Of course, like most 90s video games and adventure games.
What is the first Tomb Raider actually about? I actually don't know. I've never played it.
So she is tasked sort of with getting, she learns about an item that she can find, the MacGuffin. I'm just going to call it because that's a fun word. And in finding it, she learns that there's 2 more similar MacGuffins. And so she decides to go and get them before somebody else because of who knows why. So you then have to go get the other 2 MacGuffins. You get the third MacGuffin, and you find out after getting the second MacGuffin that it is like the key to find Atlantis, or at least something related to Atlantis.
Right. Oh, so that's why that the remake that they're doing is something about Atlantis.
Yeah. And so you get the third MacGuffin, and you kill your first person, your first human, and you step out of the room, and they're there, and they attack you and take the MacGuffins from you. You then follow them to the Atlantean temple, which you then have to go through this whole temple, following behind the footsteps of the people who you followed, even though you still have to solve all these fucking puzzles. You're following them. Why did they not solve these puzzles? Also, the people you are running into in certain levels are in front of you. Why do you have to solve these puzzles, and how did they get there first? Some of the game design, obviously game design just really doesn't make sense in this game sometimes. because it's just a 90s game, and they're trying to find things to have you fight. So you make your way through the temple, and you don't find out what's going on in this temple until you get back to where the MacGuffin has been placed. The three MacGuffins combined together has been placed. And as you're going through it, the entire temple itself is like kind of, and you wouldn't know this from old graphics, but you would really tell it now. It's like sinewy and muscles, and like things are moving and pulsing. And so Atlan, back in the past, was using this temple and the power of Atlantis to create a new modern sort of, or a new type of life and human life. And so she was stopped by the other three guardians of the MacGuffins to, and she was frozen away. The person that you learned about these MacGuffins, she wants to reactivate this and create the new society again, or the new type of species of human species. So that's really it. So then you try to take the MacGuffin from the platform that it's on, and you get knocked away, and then you have to fight the new species, which is just this giant torso up fat thing. Like, it's missing half of its body. You defeat that, you destroy the MacGuffin, you get out of the temple, game over, you win.
Okay.
So like,
yeah.
There's the story itself is like very minimal. I'm sure maybe they might have explained a little bit about like what it was going on a little bit better, but it also took me close to a month to beat this because I took a lot of breaks from playing because of not feeling good, being sick and exhausted and shit like that. That like it took me longer to beat it, so I forgot a lot of stuff. But yeah, it was fine. It is what it is. It's Tomb Raider. It's 1996 Tomb Raider. If you played it, you'll play it and you'll love it. If you didn't play it, then you might not love it, but also just wait until the remake that comes out in a few in however long it's gonna take to come out. Because that's what the new one is just remaking the original again.
Now, are you going to play the new one?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe eventually. If it's on a good sale, or if I get it on a humble bundle, or somebody buys it for me. Like, I'm not gonna like force myself to play it. I tend to not play the remakes and like Resident Evil 2 and 3 are really the only remakes that I like live by when it comes to remakes. I haven't done 4 yet. I didn't think 4 needed to be made. I don't really. I mean, this game is old enough that, like, yeah, sure, a remake is nice, but also, you just gave us a remaster. You literally just remastered this fucking game. 2024 is when Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3 Remaster came out. Why are you remaking it now? You don't need to. You just remastered the game. It looks good enough. Like, yeah, the cutscenes.
The remake and a remaster are very different, though.
But you don't need the remake. If you look at the difference between what the current game looks like and the original game looks like, which you can, it looks perfectly fine. Like, it looks great in this version. Like, you remastered it. It looks wonderful. It plays great. It is the classic game, just looking new.
But that's the thing. People don't want just the fresh coat of paint. There's plenty of people that played like the modern Tomb Raiders that don't want like the 90s controls and everything. They want the modern UI.
I don't know what the control scheme is when you change it from tank to modern controls, but you can change it to modern controls. And B, then you're missing the point of the idea of going back and playing where the game came from.
But that's what I mean. Like, the remake is not to play the original. It's to play an updated version of what that game was. Like, they're two different things.
But it's not... If you're telling the same story, then it's not needed. Especially because we got the remaster, and it was such a good remaster.
But so, like, I am more likely to play the remake when that comes out than to ever touch the remaster.
Why?
Just not interested in playing the remaster, but the remake could change things up and be different. I'd rather play something new than play just a fresh coat of paint on the old thing.
But what you're playing is new in a sense of gameplay, but is still old in a sense of the story. Like, maybe the story may be presented differently. But it's still, like, I don't know. I think, because we've talked in the past about, like, preserving games history and stuff like this, and this preserves game history. And if you're going to sit here and they released in 2024, they remastered the game, and now they're remaking the game from the ground up. But you just did a remaster of the game, and it's to placate for the new players. Then the new players aren't learning anything. The new players aren't learning where the game came from. The new players are just playing this game. That, like, I don't see a point to it. I really don't.
But like, I agree. It's good that both versions exist, but having a remake of it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hurt you to just not play it, right?
But what are they? It doesn't hurt me to not play it. But what are they like? What is
the company makes money? That's what the company gets out of it. They're going to make money. They're going to make more money off of this game than they will off the remaster.
I mean, I don't. Maybe I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't. That's up in the air. We'll have to see. Like, I don't necessarily agree whether or not they're going to make more money off of this than the remaster. I think more people were probably more interested and wanted more of the remaster than they wanted a remake of. The remake is a cool idea, and I'm like, okay, cool, sure, but like after playing the remaster, you don't need the remake.
I mean, and that is fine to have that opinion, but like people want a remake most likely, so it doesn't hurt anything.
But do they want a remake because they've not played the remaster yet?
I mean, that's actually totally possible.
Because that's where I'm getting at. Is like, we don't know how different this remake is going to be. We don't know what they're going to do. If it's just doing modern Lara Croft, like the Rise of series, but with in Tomb Raider 1, that game is not. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to be Tomb Raider because they're going to have to add 30,000 fucking humans for her to kill.
That's true. And see, like, personally, I would rather play that. I don't want to play... I did not like those style of games on the PlayStation. Like, I'd rather play the modern style of those games. Like, I basically, I just want to play... I want to play Uncharted, is what I want to play.
Then give me a new Tomb Raider. Don't give me a remake.
They're working on one of those too, aren't they?
All I know is they're working on the Atlantis one, which is the remake of Tomb Raider 1.
I'm almost positive they announced, Tomb Raider Catalyst. Yeah, Tomb Raider Catalyst is an upcoming action-adventure game developed by Crystal Dynamics and published by Amazon Game Studio. It is the 14th main entry in the Tomb Raider series. And it is, because this is the one that they're going back to, like, the original, like, I guess let's call it timeline of Tomb Raider. They're wiping away the trilogy that they did. And this one is a direct sequel to Underworld from 2008. The PS2 game or PS3 game, both. So yeah, and it's scheduled for next year.
Yeah, so then just give me that. If that's what you want, just take that. Like, you don't need, like, I don't know.
There's totally room for both though, because like this remaster is just a fresh. It's an upscale with slightly improved controls, but still a baseline level of gameplay that they could totally fix and make better in a modern version of the game while still having the original story and essentially nothing else except make it a much more playable game.
But I don't know. I hate the much more playable game idea. Just because you don't like the controls doesn't mean this is a bad game.
I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying it can be a more playable game.
Yeah, and like I did not say that Tomb Raider was bad. I simply said I did not like the 90s Tomb Raider games. Like, they just weren't for me. But I do like the modern ones. I also didn't like the 2000 ones either because those were still very kind of like tanky, control-y. At least the early ones.
The 2000 ones were still playing off of the original storyline and stuff.
Those PS2 ones are arguably the worst games.
Oh, are they? Is that generally how they're
Angel of Darkness is like one of the worst video games, period.
Oh, shit. I knew Angel of Darkness was. Like, I remember that game just getting trashed back in the day. But there were so many of them, I didn't know if they were all kind of viewed that way.
I think the only one on PS2 that anyone likes is Legends.
I think Legends was...
Which is also just a remake of the original.
I thought Anniversary was the remake. Or is Legends and Anniversary the same thing and I'm just getting confused? So it's, let's see, Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, Last Revelation...
Legend is a reimagining of the series. The heck is... Oh, Anniversary is the remake. Legend is the reimagining.
Oh, that's so dumb.
Yeah, which came out 1 year apart.
Yeah, and then Underworld was the actual sequel, and that one was 2008. I feel like people didn't hate that one. Yeah, that one got fine reviews, 7s and stuff like that. Wow, I didn't realize they were actually pretty big. I know, I guess they're not that big. 2 years and then 2 years between each of that last trilogy. But it's been quite a while since those. Like Shadow of the Tomb Raider was 2018, and it does not feel like that long ago. So all we've really had since then were like little games and these remasters. No, Rich, did you buy like it looks like Tomb Raider Remaster was a 3-pack, right? Like, it was the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Are you going into
I have all 6.
Oh, you bought both packs.
Yeah, well, the one was birthday or Christmas gift, and then the other one was on a Humble Bundle that I got recently. So, nice. I mean, as long as we reach our stream goals, 20 subs, we'll unlock playing Tomb Raider 2. And then when I refresh the stream goals or the sub goals after things die down again or whatever, then we'll add Tomb Raider 3 to it and so on and so forth. I'll play through them all for sure.
Nice.
But yeah, it's I don't know. Eventually, I'll get through them, but we got it's the sub goals.
You're not playing them back to back, basically.
No. I need it. I can't do series back to back anymore unless I were to like challenge myself to do that. And with so much out and so much I have prepped to play and set up to play, I can't really do that right now. So
I mean, you would just be unhappy.
Yeah, because I would feel like I would be rushing myself, and even with this, I did feel like I was rushing myself a bit. But I only had to rush myself because of being sick and taking so much time off this month.
Yeah, I mean, and it looks like I know you said the Tomb Raider 1 kind of time, but Tomb Raider 2 is like a 20-hour game, and 3 is a 23, 24-hour game. So
yeah. So
like, it's not like it's you can sit down and beat it in 8 hours.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Tomb Raider 1, it was over 10 hours, something like that. 10 to 15, something like that. So it was still, they're not short games. I mean, I guess the one thing I need to remember, especially if I'm going to be doing a lot more of these old school games and stuff like that, is I need to remember to fucking save.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't input auto saves and stuff. And so a lot of my struggles with the game were not the controls and the gameplay itself, they were, oh shit, I fucked that up. Oh fuck, when did I last save?
It sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's Resident Evil still make you do that too, don't they?
No, Resident Evil has autosaves. Well,
the remakes?
Well, no. Actually,
they have checkpoints, right? But like not full saves. Or
so the Resident Evil up to Resident Evil 3, you had to save at a specific. Did you have to save at a specific spot in 3? I think so.
I know you needed the typewriter ribbons, right?
Yeah, up to 4, and even in the remakes, you have to save at certain spots, I believe. Or I think 4 is when they just turned it into levels, and you save between the levels. But there might be a save point in each level as well, but you don't.
There were definitely save points in the levels of 4.
But then like 5 and 6, it was just level-based saving because those games were level-based primarily more so than anything else, I think. 7, there were save rooms, but I don't think you needed it. So yeah, there were save rooms. However, my difficulty with Resident Evil between like old school, more classic games like Tomb Raider and stuff, and Resident Evil is when it comes to Resident Evil, they are specific spots you go into. Oh, I should save. There's a reminder right there. There is no sort of save icon reminder thing in the Tomb Raider games to remind you to save. It's just, hey, go into your menus and save every once in a while. So it wasn't until I was near the end where I don't like to oversave. I don't like to save too much. Based on that Resident Evil mentality of the ink ribbons, it's like, all right, I should keep my number of saves low. However, the game will not save it will not give you a checkpoint if you say were to get to the next level and then die. You then get brought back to your last save point, which might have been the level before and stuff. So since there's no save rooms and anything like that, it doesn't remind my brain to save. And so I would get to points and I wouldn't realize it'd been 5-10 minutes since I saved. However, occasionally those 5-10 minutes, about 3 minutes were actual gameplay with the other 7 trying to figure out where to go. So then the run back isn't always that bad, but sometimes the run back would be a pain in the ass. To the point where on the last level, I was literally saving after every trap, after every obstacle, because I was just like, I'm not doing these run backs again. I'm gonna save as often as possible. I saved 69 times.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
Was it Resident Evil that actually judged you how many times you saved?
Yep. Every Resident Evil will judge you based on the number of saves, even the modern ones. Well, not the even the modern remakes, like 2 and 3. Those will judge you every time you save. But I don't know about the most recent ones, like 7, 8, and 9. Well, obviously, I don't know about 9. 9 hasn't come out yet. But they would grade you at the end, and based on your number of saves would also affect your grade. But generally, your grade was just more so based on time. And the more you saved, the more time it took because you would have to go save. So if you do it properly and only go to each room once and have minimal backtracking, you're going to have like a sub 3-hour run and you're going to get S+ no matter what.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But outside of Tomb Raider, I also played this newish game. It's been on like a demo and stuff, and they recently released it for early access everywhere, and it's available on Game Pass, called Roadside Research. Basically, you're aliens just doing normal human things and running a gas station while researching aliens. I mean, you're normal humans. You're not aliens. You're definitely normal humans. Running a gas station and doing normal human things like collecting trash to put into your own special dumpster and taking pictures of humans doing normal human things and watching them go poop and stuff.
Yes, all the normal things.
All that you are totally normal humans, just running a gas station. So yeah, it's a fun take on some of those like workplace sim games where this time you are aliens and you're running a gas station trying to research humanity. And so like you can buy upgrades, like you can buy a wacky inflatable whaling arm tube man. However, if you buy that, it increases the suspicion that humans have that you may not be human. So you have to find ways to like manage your suspicion level, and as well as like running your shop and making money to buy more upgrades and things like that. It's just a fun, silly take on these workplace sim games that like they have a multiplayer version, and your character is obviously an alien, but the way they are not alien is they actually put a piece of paper over their face, and you can actually draw on what your face looks like. And there's a bunch of preset designs, or you can make your own design yourself. And one of them is just straight up says, "This is not a mask." The mask I'm wearing, the piece of paper I'm wearing, it looks like a dog. So I'm a totally normal human dog. And then there's like, if your suspicion level goes up so high, you get like the Secret Service to come and investigate, and like they'll ask you to do stuff like fart like a human would. And then it would give you a little mini game where you have to like fart at the right time like a human would. Otherwise, they'll suspect you being an alien and they'll kill you. And you have to, if you get attacked and killed by if you're getting attacked by the agents, you have to knock their sunglasses off and then neuralize them. There's actually like a neuralizer thing, but you have to shoot them with your ray gun to knock the glasses off and then hit them with the neuralizer to make them forget that you're an alien, and they'll go back to their car and stuff. It's just a funny, silly, little, stupid game. It's got some work that needs to get done. It's early access. It's a little janky at times. I was having issues, and it might be from running like maybe stream avatars or something in the background. But my frames would drop if I were using mouse and keys, but not on controller.
That's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
So like looking left and right, I would lose frames on my mouse, but not with controller. It was the weirdest thing. And like it's one of these games where like you don't need perfect like aim and stuff like that, but when say you're running the cash register, you need to get the money out. It's a lot easier and faster to select the money if you're using a mouse.
Right.
And stuff like that. So like you'd have to like I was figuring out different ways of making it faster. and quicker. Like, obviously, the one thing you should do if you play any of these workplace games is change all your prices to even numbers, so that all you have to do is give out dollars and not change. And like basically stuff like that. Like if it was a little tedious to get some stuff off of the walls. So every morning before we opened shop, we would just take everything off and throw it to the ground to make it easier to pick up, because it was easier to pick up with there was, I guess the hit boxes were a little bit bigger when they were on the ground than when they were being hung up and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just silly. The art's funny. There's no real major story to it. Just learn it, just surviving. And so we're playing it right now because Sea of Thieves has a couple of week break before the next part of the season. And I honestly expect us to play it a little bit more with the next season, because next season is going to focus primarily on PvP, and we're not PvP players in Sea of Thieves, so we might play this game a little bit more often. But it's just a fun, silly game that I think everyone should check out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm assuming that's probably a show?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you would like to find some more of our content, you can head over to www.one-quest.com. You can also help us out by supporting us at patreon.com/onequest. If you can't support us there with dollars, though, you can go to your favorite podcast platform, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify. Rate us, review us, subscribe to us. All of those things help. You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/onequestonline or at @1_quest on Instagram and Twitter. And our Blue Sky is at one-quest.com. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/onequestvideo, and you can always send us an email to social@one-quest.com. And Rich, what is your streaming?
Twitch.tv/b_1 is for video game streaming, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. With the exception of this week, where I'm definitely doing a Friday stream and maybe a Saturday stream, playing Resident Evil 9. So yeah, it's Resident Evil 9, Sea of Thieves, Roadside Research. I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. I just got 10 subs, and so we'll be playing this game called shit. Why am I forgetting what it's called? Why am I blanking on it? Give me a second. Species Unknown, which is a PvE cooperative extraction shooter, I guess is what you could call it. Where every time you play, you go onto an alien ship. It's the same alien ship right now because it's still in early access. But you go into an alien ship and you have certain missions and objectives you have to do while dealing with different aliens every time you go onto the ship. So yeah, it's a fun game, and I've seen a lot of people play that. Just like, this game looks ridiculous and looks incredible, and it's only $10, which is even better.
Yeah, you cannot beat $10 except free.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you can beat $10, $9.
I mean, that's true. Hey, at least it's not $20 like Pokemon.
$10. $9 is $10.
Yeah, I guess. Fine. You can beat $10, $6.
$6 is $5.
There you go. $7 is $10. $7 is not $6. Or $7 is not $5. It's $10.
Is it because 7, 8, 9?
No, it's because 6, 7.
I hate you.
No.
That's the end of the show, everybody. We'll be back next week with something else to talk about. Thanks for listening. Bye.
See yous.